And a very good evening to you all, wherever you may be watching from. We've reached the final session here of this Collinsville-Mascoutah Tip-Off Classic. Game number 5 and 6 here for you tonight. We'll have it all for you here on the K-Hawk Broadcast Club Network. My name is Zach Roseman. I am joined this evening, as I have been all tournament, by Matthew Clark. Getting ready to go for, like I said, our game number 5, as Miller Career Academy takes on Riverview Gardens. Both teams coming in at 0-2, looking for their first wins of the season. What do you think of this matchup, Matt?
Yeah, well, good evening. First of all, it's going to be a really fun night. Obviously, the two teams that are 0-2 playing against each other here at 5:30, and then at 7 o'clock we got our, for all intents and purposes, our championship of the Collinsville-Mascoutah Tip-Off Classic. Funnily enough, it's the K-Hawks, Collinsville, and Mascoutah. So the names of those teams, it's kind of funny how those two teams are the champions. Well, I mean, you look at both of these two teams just looking for a spark, looking for a boost, a little bit of a rough time for them both. The Rams go 0-2. Both games they've lost by more than 40 points. For the Phoenix, they were in both the Collinsville and Mascoutah games. So they played Collinsville on Friday, lost by 10, was in the Mascoutah game, and then lost that game by 9. So really, for Miller Career, it was all about missed opportunities, really, in my opinion. The Phoenix just did not capitalize on their opportunities to win those games, and that's why they sit here at 0-2. But there have been some very bright spots. That Miller Career offense is really, really good. But a good opportunity for two teams from St. Louis to play here on the other side of the river, here in Collinsville, Illinois, and be able to just find a way to get some positivity into their team. And, of course, like you said, a first win of the season, which is always a good jump starter for either team.
Go ahead and have the introduction of both starting lineups. Start off with Riverview Gardens road team here tonight. 5'8" junior Rico Lumpkins. 5'6" sophomore Demarion Castor. 5'8" junior Karan McFadden. 6'2" junior Jerron Berry. And the only senior on the roster for the Rams, 6'4", 22, Stephon Brown. So the same starters for the Rams as their game against Collinsville earlier. Of course, the Rams coached by Will Donegan. And for Miller Career, it will be a pretty similar unit. Go Brian Mann, 6'2" junior, wears number 2. 6'1" junior Christian Johnson. 5'9" freshman Calvin Nelson.
Well, I think they messed that up. We were just talking about that. I think they done it. They did it in the first game this morning when Miller Career lost to Mascoutah 55-46. And they said Calvin Nelson instead of Carlon Nelson. But you know what? It's game 3, and both of these teams are 0-2. I don't think they're going to care too much about if the name on the starting lineup is right. I think they just want to play some basketball, Zach.
Yeah, going to get after it. This is our first look at Miller Career's home whites. Look like a pretty solid uniform. Riverview Gardens back in their road black uniforms. And looks like the Rams are pretty much ready to go. They showed some improvement, some signs of improvement in that game against Collinsville compared to last night's matchup with Mascoutah. Guys to watch for Miller Career Academy, we've talked about Antoine Franklin, but kind of the supporting cast too. Guys like Brian Mann, Calvin Nelson, Carlon Nelson had a good game earlier today. And for Riverview Gardens, seen a lot of Rico Lumpkins, but also we've seen some capability from Demarion Castor. Hit, I think, 4 3-pointers in their game against Collinsville earlier. But in this particular matchup, it is Lumpkins to bring the ball up for the Rams, and he'll reset their offense. Get it over there now to Castor, and Lumpkins will pull it from the elbow and put it up and in.
I will say, in each of the games that Riverview Gardens have played, they've always started pretty strong. It's not until midway through the first quarter where problems start to arise, so that's where they've really got to focus. Those last 4 minutes of the first quarter, keeping themselves in the games. No better chance to do it against a team than a team in this tournament or in this classic than Miller Career Academy, who sits with them at 0-2 going into this game.
Yep. Here is Christian Johnson. He'll get it to Franklin at the top of the key. He'll pull up for 3. Shot no good. Rebounded by Lumpkins, and he'll go ahead and take off on his own, out to Castor in the corner for 3. That one is short. Nice job by Brown skying for the rebound, get it back out to Lumpkins. Fresh 35 seconds on the shot clock, as the Rams reset. Another shot up from Lumpkins, no good, and that one will be out of bounds and will stay with the Phoenix.
It was interesting. They said that Carlon Nelson was the starter. So Calvin Nelson was the starter. Then Carlon is the starter on the bench. Then Calvin Nelson starts the game. Now he's subbed out by Carlon Nelson. So both of the Nelsons, who we never figured out if they were brothers or not. We should have figured that out, Zach.
Yeah,
but
we should have.
Kind of funny to see them two. Carlon Nelson had a really good game against Mascoutah. Came some huge shots to keep the Phoenix in that game. Be interested to see how he plays today.
3-pointer from Mann, up, no good. Rebounded there by Jerron Berry. He'll get it to Lumpkins, and he'll bring it up, guarded, kind of double-teamed almost by Franklin and Johnson. 3-pointer from McFadden, no good. Long rebound comes out to Brown, and then stolen away by Michael Walker for the Phoenix. And he'll get it to Johnson, and he'll hop, skip, and a jump into the lane. Shot up, no good. Lumpkins with the rebound, and he'll go and run, pass it back off to Castor. And another steal for the Phoenix. This time we'll come up to Antoine Franklin, and he'll lay it up and in.
Trying for the dunk, I think. Antoine Franklin Jr. didn't have a lot of momentum in there, but again, that's the easiest basket he scored all day. Normally, he's been making some really tough shots for the Miller Career Academy Phoenix, as that one is going to stay with Riverview Gardens, but I think they've still got to get it past the half court. That 10-second clock does not reason. Actually, yes, it does, because Miller Career had a touch on it, I'm pretty sure. But still, looking at all of that, Antoine Franklin Jr., he's going to be the main guy, and should this game remain close, Miller Career will be relying on him in order to make some big plays for them and hit some important shots.
As we have, guess the referee wasn't quite ready yet, but anywho, pass in from Castor to Barry, who will give it right back to Castor. And they'll work it to Barry at the top of the key. He'll put a dribble move on, drive the lane, spin move, shot up, no good. And held ball possession in favor of the Phoenix.
One thing for the Riverview Gardens Rams is that their moves have been good. Their offense has been okay. The finishing touches, though, in terms of putting the ball in the basket, where the name of the game is, where you get to score points, is where Riverview Gardens just haven't been able to do, And so if they really want to keep this game close with Miller Career Academy and even maybe pick up an upset victory, they're going to have to make shots. Right now, they haven't started very well from the field, but still a lot of time left to change that.
Yeah, and they've defended well enough, Miller Career really not being able to capitalize on those opportunities. Here is Mann. He'll get it to Franklin. Franklin thought about the 3-pointer, but he'll drive the lane instead. Back to Mann. He'll pull up for 3. Shot no good. Franklin up there for the rebound, and altered there by Brown, and he'll throw it, and Franklin able to recover it. Shot up and good. Antoine Franklin with all 4 points for Miller Career so far. And the inbound comes into Phoenix, who will get it there to Castor, and he'll get it up to McFadden, who will throw up a floater, no good. And the rebound comes down to Carlon Nelson, and he'll push it up to Rashad Butler, who's into the game kind of early. Get it into the corner for Mann, and now a bounce pass over to Carlon Nelson. He'll Euro step through, shot up, no good. Knocked out of bounds, and it will remain with the Phoenix as we see Jaden Anthony come in for the Rams.
I will say for Miller Career, I just think they're playing a little passive here at the start of the game, Zach. Just trying to feel out this Riverview Gardens team and figure out where's the best way to attack them. Is it through the press on the defense, or can they beat them one-on-one on offense like they've done all season, or done all tournament long? And it seems like that's working when Antoine Franklin's got the ball, so maybe do a little bit more of that.
Yeah. Franklin with all 7. Pass comes into Lumpkins, and he'll bring it up for Riverview Gardens. Just about halfway through this first quarter of action, Lumpkins will kick it back out there to Castor, and he'll get it right back on the wing. And Phoenix will go ahead and switch, put Nelson on Lumpkins, which I think is the matchup they're looking for. Shot up, no good, but there's going to be a foul, probably on Franklin.
And I like the fact that Rico Lumpkins continues to attack the rim. That's something that I think he could do a little bit more of, and then draw contact. get fouls, get to the free throw line for those easy points. And, you know, normally guards are pretty good free throw shooters. He misses that one, but that's an easy way to get points, you know, and if you work hard and find your way to get into the lane, you know, you're going to get those opportunities at the free throw line. So I think the junior for Riverview Gardens can do a little bit more of that.
Second one up and good. Deficit at 7-3, and we've seen the Rams go kind of a 2-2-1 press look. We'll see if that's able to cause any disruption for the MCA offense. Nice pass into Franklin, shot up and good. It's the Antoine Franklin show so far. He's got all 9 for the Phoenix. And the Rams will inbound the basketball. Here is Castor. He'll get it to Lumpkins. Lumpkins guarded by Nelson, and he'll bring it up in to the front court, and he'll reset things. 21 and 20 seconds now left on the shot clock. And that is deflected, but we'll get out there into the corner for McFadden. And he'll drive the lane. Shot up, blocked, and the Phoenix will recover. Pass intended for Walker, went off the back of his head, but Miller Courier able to retain possession as Rashad Butler tracks the ball down in the corner. Pass out to Nelson. He'll dribble, and there's a steal there by Castor. He'll go ahead and drive the lane, pull up from just inside the three-point line, and the shot's up and good to make it 9-5 in favor of Miller Courier.
Yeah, he just intended it to be a three-pointer, but stepped a little too far inside the line. Obviously had those feet on the line, so that's a 2 instead of a 3.
Three-pointer from Butler, no good. He'll track down his own rebound, pass out to Franklin, back out to Nelson for 3, good.
Yeah, and Will Donegan and his coaching staff not pleased that that comes as a result of not being able to rebound the ball. This was what I was a little bit worried about with this last game. You know, we got the first 30-second timeout, so we'll keep it here. I'm just worried, Zach. 7 rostered players for Riverview Gardens. You've already played one game today. Listen, I played in the Prairie Farms Holiday Classic, and that day 2 where you've got to play twice is brutal on your mental strength and your physical strength. And I'm just not sure that Riverview Gardens are going to be capable of running a 2-2-1 press and then getting back and rebounding and doing this all while having their best chance of the Tip-Off Classic to win tonight. I just don't know if they've got enough left in the tank.
Yeah, we'll see. This will definitely be a test of the conditioning.
Yeah, they were already tired against Collinsville earlier today. They've got to be tired as well tonight.
Yeah, I mean, they've had time to rest. They had time, were able to get some food as Malachi Dickerson into the game, and he turns the ball over. Franklin with the recovery, pass to Mann. He'll drive the lane, shot up, and good.
Talk about the late first 4 minutes. Of the late 4 minutes in this quarter, I was wondering what was going to happen to Riverview Gardens. They've given up those 5 straight points. It's out to a 9-point lead. This is where they've struggled in every game so far in this tournament. And it seems like the same story is happening again in game number 3 for them tonight.
And they'll bring it into the front court. Here is McFadden, double-teamed and stripped away there by Butler. They'll go ahead and cut things off and get it to Franklin, and the Phoenix will flow into kind of a half-court offense. Get it to Calvin Nelson up at the top of the key. He'll drive the lane, and C's parted for him. Shot up and good for the freshman, who really has put together some solid performances. That ball out of bounds off of Mann, they'll say.
Well, Calvin Nelson is a freshman. I would never have realized that he was a freshman. He's played a lot older than he looks here, as Riverview Gardens is going to take yet another timeout.
Yeah, we'll didn't quite catch if it's a
60-second timeout, I think, Zach. So I think we'll take a quick break here. 16-5 Phoenix lead. The Rams will be back on the KAC Broadcast Club Network in just a moment.
The people of Illinois welcome you. The folks in Collinsville, Illinois, well, they want you to stick around for a while and enjoy the sights, the fun, the food, and, of course, the Collinsville Jayhawks. The city of Collinsville is a proud supporter of the Collinsville Unit 10 School District. So welcome to Collinsville. Come on over, catch a Jayhawks game, or enjoy some of the new places to eat, shop, and have fun. There's plenty to do for the young and the young at heart. Enjoy Christmas at the Collins House during the holidays, tunes that bloom in the warm summer months, and more. There's plenty to do in Collinsville, so come on over for a bit. The folks in Collinsville would love to see you. For more information, go to www.collinsville.org.
We welcome you back into Virgil Fletcher Gymnasium. 86 seconds left here in our first quarter of our penultimate game here.
said 86? I think it's 106, right?
No, that would be 140.
Oh my gosh, I suck, Zach. You got better math skills than I do today.
All right, here we go. Inbound comes into Malachi Dickerson. He'll get it to Lumpkins, and he is pretty much double teamed, but able to break the immediate pressure and get into the front court. Pass out to McFadden, and he'll reset things. 20 seconds on the shot clock. Here is McFadden now behind the back dribble. Kick it out to Lumpkins in the corner for three. No good. And the rebound by Antoine Franklin. He'll give it up to Christian Johnson with just under a minute to play here. Miller Career do have to put up a shot here. And they'll work it into Butler. He'll cut off there. Kick out to Nelson for three. No good. And the rebound comes down to Dickerson, who promptly loses it. And Jackson Harris with the ball into the game for the Phoenix, and that will be a jump ball. Possession arrow keeps it with Miller Career.
Yeah, Ben, it's kind of been a bit another story for Riverview Gardens this weekend is the fact that it's so tough to rebound when they're lacking in size in all positions. They get a turnover there though, goes off of Butler's hands, and the Rams will hold possession. I've been impressed so far, Zach, by the way that Miller Career has broken this press. They haven't turned the ball over on this Miller Career press where head coach Brandon Wright wants to trap in the corners and make sure he puts as much pressure on these Rams guards as possible. But just like they did right there, they got to break the press. But can they score off of the press?
Yeah, shot up, no good from Lumpkins. And we've mentioned earlier, this Miller Career, or this Riverview Gardens team, not much size. And so, yeah, the Phoenix will be able to hold for one here. Pass comes out to Johnson, and he'll work it around to Butler, and now to Harris out on the wing. And they'll work it around to Johnson again. 11 seconds now, and back to Calvin Nelson. He'll kick it out to Johnson for three. That one's short. Rebounded by Barry, three. And Rams with the full length of the court to go, and will not get a shot off. So, after one quarter of play, your score is 16-5. in favor of Miller Career Academy. We'll go ahead and take a break. Be back here in just a moment on the K-Hawk Broadcast Club Network.
Collinsville Barbecue Supply, home of Code 3 Spices, is first responder owned by proud K-Hawk alums. Located at 1966 Vandalia, Collinsville Barbecue Supply is your one-of-a-kind barbecue headquarters that focuses on everything barbecue and cooking. Providing the best American-made barbecue grills, in-person class instruction, smokers, rubs, sauces, accessories, and cooking expertise from professional barbecue experts, including an in-house chef and pit master. Code 3 Spices provides award-winning rubs and sauces that support our nation's first responder and military organizations that focus on providing aid to the fallen, suicide prevention, and PTSD awareness. Stop by and see the guys at Collinsville Barbecue Supply for all of your cooking and grilling needs. Collinsville Barbecue Supply, home of the 4-time World Championship Patriot Sauce. Learn more about their products and mission in giving back to those who serve at CollinsvilleBarbecue.com. 618-855-8855.
Just about ready for second quarter action here on the K-Hawk Broadcast Club Network. 16-5 in favor of Miller Career Academy. But it is the trailing team, Riverview Gardens, who will have the ball to begin the second quarter. Here is Karan McFadden bringing the ball up. He's got it there on the wing. We'll go ahead and drive the lane. And no good. And the pass now to Barry, who is fouled. Not sure that he ever really had control of the ball.
Antoine Franklin Jr. has his hands up like, what did I do? And I'm right there with him. Not sure where he's a foul. That's a loose ball, so I think you both, at least at some point, have an option to kind of chase the ball and try to win it. But referee gives the benefit of the doubt to Riverview Gardens that time.
Here is, McFadden in the corner, get it to Malachi Dickerson. He'll drive the lane, wild shot. Thought that hit the top of the backboard, but Stephon Brown will go ahead and track the ball down. 12 seconds now. Shot clock did not reset. And the pull-up jumper from Lumpkins, no good. Franklin skies for the rebound, and they'll push it to Franklin. And now he'll wait and see, hand it off to Franklin, and he'll give it right back to Johnson. He'll look over to Coach Wright for the play, and that pass deflected, but will stay with Franklin. And they both followed the guy curling around.
Yep.
Franklin with a wide open jumper. He's up to 11 points now.
That's what happens on the two-man game. You see Collins will run that a lot, where they'll run some guy off of a bit of a handoff there, and the best way to kind of fake off of that is to fake that handoff and then turn around and shoot. That time Franklin did it perfectly, and Riverview Gardens gave him a wide open jumper, which if there's any player in this tournament that's going to hit that, it's Antoine Franklin Jr.
Yep. They're going to go ahead and Dickerson had picked up his dribble, and they'll get it into the corner for Brown. 8 seconds, 7. Get it and deflected around, stays in. Lumpkins pull-up jumper from the wing.
About to say that's shot clock violation. Didn't touch the rim. And, man, this Riverview Gardens offense is really sputtering here in the second quarter. When they've got an opportunity to maybe get a couple of baskets, cut into this Miller Career Academy lead, they're just not doing so. Again, it's not the defense, it's not the effort, it's not the mentality that Riverview Gardens are missing, Zach Roseman. It's the offense and just not being able to put the ball into the basket. To be fair, it's hard. I wasn't a very good offensive player when I was playing. Oh, 10-second violation. We haven't seen one of those all day.
Yeah, that's one thing with the shot clock is
I was going to say that for sure. No, you're right.
As a referee, if you're looking up there and you're seeing, well, wait a minute, that was 10 seconds. And we'll see some substitutions. Brian Mann, and then we'll also see number 40.
I think that's a new addition for Miller Career Academy.
Marquise Moulton, 6'4" sophomore, making his first appearance of the tournament, I believe. As turnover there, recovered by Calvin Nelson. And he'll make the nice push to Mann, shot up and good.
Yep, and there's the transition defense, which has been problem number 2 for Riverview Gardens in this tournament. You know, and again, that kind of stuff doesn't help them either. But again, as I was saying at the end of the first quarter, it's tough when you only have 7 players to just get up and down the floor, especially a high school floor like this. You know, you can run with all your might. These guys have run like miles today, Riverview Gardens players.
Yep. Press break good, but another turnover. Moulton comes up with it. He'll get it to Nelson, and now to Mann. Pass to Franklin, up and good. Fantastic transition offense from the Phoenix, and they'll continue to put on that kind of man-to-man pressure that they have all day. And they'll just kind of lob it up there, which works out all right. Lumpkin's able to get to the basketball. Pass out there to Castor. He'll swing it to Barry, and now to, I think that's Brown over there in the corner. And now Barry able to drive the lane, shot up, no good. You know, able to, like you said, able to get looks at the basket, just not really getting anything to fall. Here is Calvin Nelson. He'll get it to, that is Elijah Thomas, 5'10" freshman, another new entry into the rotation for the Phoenix. And here come the Rams once again. This is McFadden at the top of the key. And he's guarded there by Mann, trying to get some offense set up as the pass goes out of bounds. As we'll see Carlon Nelson re-enter, replacing the other Nelson.
I will say that, sorry to interrupt you, Zach. I was just going to say that talk about Riverview Gardens with an opportunity to keep this game close, and they had all their first 5 points in about the first 4 minutes, you know, and they've been dead silent since. They may have just missed their opportunity to keep this game close, you know, and that's on them offensively.
Shot up and no good. Moulton skies for the rebound, and the ball out of bounds, and it will.
It's going to stay with Miller Career Academy. I heard the ref say white.
Okay.
Miller Career in the white, moving right to left on that screen of yours. So they'll get it right in the corner there.
Yep. Inbound coming in from Thomas, and he'll get it to Franklin. Shot up and good from Nelson. And lead out to 19 points, 24-5. Pass into Castor, who did hit 4 3-pointers in the game against Collinsville. See if maybe they can try and get something going for him. Nice take there from McFadden, and he gets it to fall.
Hey, any points are good right now for Riverview Gardens. They'll take anything they can get. They've had a couple of floaters that have just rolled off the rim. That was a tough shot from McFadden. May have gotten fouled as well.
3-pointer from Franklin, up and good. Antoine Franklin up to 16 points. He leads all scorers. Inbound comes into Barry, and he'll bring it up for the Rams, guarded by the man we just mentioned. Here comes Lumpkins. He'll get it there to McFadden. He'll drive baseline, Shot up, no good. Might have been fouled. Deflected, saved out there to, I think that's Lumpkins for 3. In and out, no good. The shots have been decent, just not falling. Here comes Nelson. He'll get it to Thomas. Thomas will pull up for 3. Little strong, no good. Barry with the rebound, and he'll get it to Lumpkins, and the Rams will set up their offense. Here is Lumpkins, able to get to the lane. Shot up, no good. Rebound by Moulton, and he'll get it to Nelson, and up down to Thomas, who is fouled. Count the basket. It's a little more of a continuation than I was anticipating. Franklin with the basket. Foul is on Barry, as we'll see Rashad Butler and Michael Walker come in. Looks like Walker will come in for Franklin.
Yeah, it was the first time I could really see that fatigue getting to Riverview Gardens. Deron Berry is the last man back, and while he's been hustling up and down the floor all day, the best he could do there was just try to stop Antoine Franklin with the foul, and Franklin made the basket. 19 points for him in the first half. Give him some flowers. That's mighty impressive for him, the main man on Miller Career Academy, the senior.
Go ahead and bring in Stephon Brown, give Barry a little bit of a rest. Coach Donegan doing what he can to mitigate. As we mentioned numerous times, only 7 players dressed for the Rams tonight. Pass out there and a scramble, and we've got a foul. I think they're going to give that to Nelson, actually. Maybe? Nope, they're going to give it to Anthony, who's into the game.
Yeah. And now you just got to think, it's not all the way out of reach yet for Riverview Gardens, but it feels like all 3 games have had the same exact story for them. A decent start, and then they just get
cold
destroyed.
streak.
Yeah, cold streak, and then giving up basket after basket after basket to the other team. It just doesn't bode well for success. If you want to start somewhere for Riverview Gardens, obviously it looks like at least they're on track to go 0-3. You got to start by being able to play a complete first quarter, because that'll turn into at least a decent second quarter. And, but at the moment, then the wheels start falling off. And Riverview Gardens is a better team than that. They absolutely have opportunities. They have players that can go and score. They've just got to be able to utilize them in the correct way.
Yep. Carlon Nelson with a bucket for the Phoenix, and here come the Rams flowing into their offense. Here is Lumpkins. He'll get the screen from Brown. Kind of dribbled it off his foot, but able to maintain possession. 11 seconds left on the shot clock. Out to the corner, 3-pointer short. And the rebound comes down to Michael Walker. Here is Mann. He'll go ahead and drive the lane. Pass intended for Marquise Moulton will go out of bounds, as we'll see Jackson Harris come back in.
Obviously, with Miller Career Academy, you can't be more happy right now. Up 32-7 right now, late in the second quarter. What I would love Brandon Wright to do, and I think what he might do, is can this team score without Antoine Franklin Jr. on the floor? At times, they have been able to. He's got 19 of the 32 points now. The other players have combined for only 13 points. So how can they match up against this Riverview Gardens team and other teams in the future without Antoine Franklin Jr. on the floor? There's an and one for Rico Lumpkins.
Yeah, nice take there. Gets that one up and in, as we've got Demarion Castor coming over to get some instructions from Coach Donegan. Lumpkins free throw up and no good. Rebound by Carlon Nelson. And he'll go ahead and bring the ball down the floor. Pass over to Walker. His 14-footer no good. And the rebound comes down to McFadden. McFadden will bring it up against this man-to-man defense from the Phoenix. And shot up no good. Brown, able to make the rebound out to Castor for 3.
I tell you, we saw the exact same thing against Collinsville. The exact same thing this morning. The fact that Riverview Gardens had a decent start and then had a decent, second half, or had a decent end to the second quarter. And in between those, there's just nothing of positive note for the Rams, but you see the flashes that they might be able to have in order to get baskets and keep in close games. What can they do to replicate what they do at the beginning of the quarter, at the end of the half? It's just something they've got to ask themselves.
Scramble for the ball, and it will go to the Rams, I believe, as Christian Johnson comes back in. Who's going to head to the bench, and it will be Jackson Harris.
Shot clock turned off here with 16 and a half seconds to go. Actually, it's going to be Riverview Gardens basketball, so
Yep.
a little bit of a difference there.
Yeah, confusion there, but Rams will trigger the inbound. The pass comes into Lumpkin. Go ahead and you got a little bit of a time to get a decent look here. Down 20, which, while it's not good, is an improvement. Lumpkin's dribbled it off his foot, out to Castor, 3 too strong, and that'll be the end of the first half. So 32-12 in favor of Miller Courier. Obviously not great for Riverview, but it's an improvement.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, down 30 in the first 2 games at the half. Now they're only down 20, and the math in this tournament would show that probably looks about right. But how can you build off of this? Because the Riverview Gardens have just been poor in all of the second halves that they've played so far in this tournament. So can they make the last half of this Tip-Off Classic the best one for them? And I think they've got the keys to do it, Zach.
Yeah, I mean, they've been able to show some positive improvements over the course of it, and at the end of the day, this is their first 3 games of the season. You still have, I know in Missouri they don't play quite as many games as they do here in Illinois, but, they played 27 last year, so you still have 24 more games left. Still plenty of time to improve, and I think that this is a team that is going to be in the position to win some ball games. Unfortunately for them, that
Maybe
just
not
may
here.
not be here. So we're going to go ahead and take a break here. We'll be back in a couple of minutes to resume second half action here on the K-Hawk Broadcast Club Network.
Keep your ride shiny and clean with Extreme Details Vehicle Detailing in Collinsville. Owner Jay Merkel and his crew at Extreme Details believe in the value of community and in helping their community hold the value of their vehicles with a sharp-looking, clean ride that you and your community can be proud of. Extreme Details can handle any job, whether you drive a small car, an SUV, or even a bus or RV. No job is too big or too small at Extreme Details. Extreme Details offers scratch and oxidation removal, no matter what you drive: cars, trucks, motorcycles, boats, and more. Plus, Extreme Details can handle fleet vehicles for you and your company. Call Jay and the gang at Extreme Details at 618-977-1224. Check for periodic specials on the Extreme Details Facebook page. Put the shine in your ride with Extreme Details, 618-977-1224. Projects in and around your home can be daunting and overwhelming. Take the stress out of those projects and let AW Indoor and Outdoor Solutions do all the heavy lifting. Former K-Hawk Adam Welly can help knock those projects off your list. From framing drywall, painting, and stair work inside to deck work, hardscapes, and concrete and retaining wall construction outside your home, including power washing and brush removal. Whatever the task, AW Indoor and Outdoor Solutions can help. Call Adam Welly for a free estimate at AW Indoor and Outdoor Solutions, 314-252-8010. That's 314-252-8010. Diamonds for K-Hawks is a facility improvement project to develop a baseball, softball, and football/soccer field for CHS students and our communities to utilize. The project includes 2 baseball fields, 2 softball fields, a soccer/football field, concession stand, bathrooms, and parking. The development of this facility will benefit the band, PE classes, baseball team, softball team, and soccer team with a centralized location, ease of access, and an eye-catching complex. Please contact A.D. Clay Smith to donate to this project or visit the Collinsville Area Community Foundation website to make your tax-deductible donation today.
Looking for good food, good times, and good people? Look no further than the Bridge Inn in Caseyville. Just over the bridge from the K-Hawk Stadium, Bridge Inn features a friendly and courteous staff that serves up the coldest drinks and the best food in the Metro East. Lunch and dinner is available daily with a breakfast menu every Saturdays and Sunday morning. And don't forget about fantastic fish fry Fridays. Bridge Inn also features pool tournaments on most weekends and a gaming area for the over 21 crowd. Bridge Inn in Caseyville. Check them out at 519 North Main Street in Caseyville. Call for carryout orders at 618-344-3530. The best is yet to come at the Bridge Inn in Caseyville. 618-344-3530.
Looking to buy a new home or sell your current home? Trust the Blaylock Group of eXp Realty with all of your real estate needs. The real estate market is hot right now, and you can trust the years of experience the Blaylock Group brings to the table. The Blaylock Group can help you find your dream home, or they can help you get top dollar for your current home. Give Peyton or Emily Blaylock a call today at the Blaylock Group of eXp Realty, 618-780-4622. That's 618-780-4622. The Blaylock Group of eXp Realty. Got vinyl? Rich's Record Emporium in Uptown Collinsville can take care of all of your vinyl needs and more. You can peruse through thousands of records, from country to hard-to-find jazz, and classic rock is always in stock at Rich's Record Emporium. Used vinyl, new vinyl, and hard-to-find vinyl. Don't forget to check out the audio room at Rich's, where you can check out the latest in audio gear, from new top-of-the-line speakers to turntables and receivers, plus all of the accessories. Rich's has t-shirts, record cleaners, turntable needles, wall art, and so much more. If you can't find what you're looking for at Rich's, they will do their best to find it for you. Don't forget to mention seeing this ad on the K-Hawk Sports Network for a 10% discount at checkout. Rich's Record Emporium, 131 West Main Street in Collinsville, or call 618-795-1333 or online at richesrecordemporium.com.
Hi, Purple and White fans. This is Dan Mode, class of 1989. I'm with New American Funding. Myself and New American Funding are proud sponsors of K-Hawk Athletics. As we have great coaches at CHS on all the courts, fields, and tracks, we like to coach you through the home buying process and refinance process. If there's ever anything we can do, I can be reached at 618-973-5343 or www.danmodeloans.com. Let's support our student athletes at CHS. They deserve the best. Thank you for your time, and go K-Hawks.
Looking for a great place to watch the game with your crew? Look no further than the Lucky Fox Sports Bar in Uptown Collinsville. The Lucky Fox shows Collinsville K-Hawk sports on the big screen, plus UFC fights, boxing, Cardinals and Blues, and all of the NFL games with the NFL ticket and enough TVs, you'll be sure to find the game you want. And the food? How about Taco Tuesdays, Wing Wednesdays, plus burgers and sandwiches, pizza, steak, and more, including great drink specials and the coldest beer in town. Plus, they have an in-house DJ on Friday and Saturday nights. Dine in and catch a game or order carry-out with the Lucky Fox. The Lucky Fox Sports Bar, 118 East Main Street in Uptown Collinsville. Open daily at 11 a.m. Check out the Lucky Fox Facebook page for daily specials. The Lucky Fox, 618-223-1948. The people of Illinois welcome you. The folks in Collinsville, Illinois, well, they want you to stick around for a while and enjoy the sights, the fun, the food, and of course, the Collinsville K-Hawks. The city of Collinsville is a proud supporter of the Collinsville Unit 10 School District. So welcome to Collinsville. Come on over, catch a K-Hawks game, or enjoy some of the new places to eat, shop, and have fun. There's plenty to do for the young and the young at heart. Enjoy Christmas at the Collins House during the holidays, tunes at Bloom in the warm summer months, and more. There's plenty to do in Collinsville, so come on over for a bit. The folks in Collinsville would love to see you. For more information, go to www.collinsville.org.
And we welcome you back to our halftime break here. It is 32-12 in favor of Miller Career Academy, and I think the goals now for Miller Career is, keep your foot on the gas pedal. No, don't let up. You've had two losses, but you've had two competitive games, and for Riverview, it's just, small victories. Just a series of small victories will get you closer to that big victory.
Yeah, listen, some people aren't all about moral victories, but when the score is this far outside of your favor, when it's not in your favor like this, then you've got to find a way to stay positive and to have moral victories. And I think they've got the opportunity to do that here in this second half. Just like we said at the end of the break, just find a way to stick your foot in it and have some good possessions here in this third quarter and play a complete quarter. Because I think Riverview Gardens have had some great moments, but those only come in spurts of like 2 or 3 minutes. You've got to be able to play a complete quarter in order to win basketball games, and really a complete 4 quarters in order to win basketball games as well. So yeah, that'll be interesting. From a Miller Career Academy perspective, again, I'll say this once more. Let's see what happens with the team without Antoine Franklin. He is a senior. They're going to have to find production somewhere else. I mean, there are guys that I think can absolutely take the workload and the offensive workload at least. You're looking at Brian Mann, and you're looking at, Christian Johnson and Calvin Nelson is probably the 3 big players for the Phoenix next year. I think that's where they start Zach Roseman in terms of getting production and getting offensive work. He's got 19 points. He's had it all. He's had all the right answers for Miller Career Academy, not just today, but for the entire Tip-Off Classic. So, let's see this team without that kind of that kind of offensive production. I'll be interested to see if they're able to still keep up. I mean, they're up 20 right now. Don't let Riverview Gardens get back into this game, because it can absolutely happen. Basketball is a crazy thing. Sports are a crazy thing. You and I were just talking about the Iron Bowl that just finished up. Alabama winning on 27-24 and an incredible 4th and goal play. Again, it's sports. Anything can happen. Right. Just because we think something's gonna happen doesn't mean that's blatantly gonna happen straight up. That's just my opinion on it.
If you look at obviously East St. Louis, the pride of the area when it comes to the football side of things, and they gotta have that state championship matchup with Cary Grove, and obviously had to face some adversity. With unfortunately their starting quarterback getting hurt, but and unfortunately they did wind up losing. But that's one of those things, as that'll be a travel from Karan McFadden after the Rams picked up a steal.
Yeah, but I will say, you were talking about that. East St. Louis has lost to Cary Grove now twice in the state championship in the last 4 years.
3 years.
3 years, really, yeah. I didn't remember when Luther, they beat 5-star wide receiver Luther Burden in that team, which was unbelievable.
3-pointer up and good from Antoine Franklin. He's got 22 now, and, well, that's the margin is maker. 23. Yeah, that's pretty much everything. Pass out of bounds. Trying to get it back to Lumpkins there was McFadden, but unsuccessful in maintaining the ball within the not the field of play, the court of play, I guess. Inbound pass comes in to Mann. We'll go ahead and bring it up against some moderate man-to-man pressure from Riverview Gardens. Here comes Franklin. They'll run the handoff to Mann, and the 18-footer up and good.
Man, Miller Career Academy is so hard to guard when they just make shots, difficult shots, like the one that Antoine Franklin Jr. made to start the quarter, and that jump shot from Brian Mann. Even when Riverview Gardens is trying to get some offensive help and just work hard, nice bucket there from Lumpkins, it's just tough when every single time the Phoenix are coming down and they're scoring at will, no matter what you do defensively.
Yep. And the kick out into the corner, 3-pointer no good. Michael Walker with the rebound, bowls over the Riverview defender, no call.
Well, that's not a charge, Zach, when you get the offensive rebound there. If you want the foul called, then get the rebound and get it over the back call or something like that. That's where you really got to box out. But again, last half of a 3-game slate for Riverview Gardens, they're just getting too tired out there.
Yep.
But there's nothing they can do about that.
Nope. Only 7 guys. We don't know if it's injuries or suspensions, or we don't know. We're not really going to speculate. Turnover shot up from Franklin, no good. Rebounded by Lumpkins. He'll get it up there to McFadden. Thought about the 3, pass into Barry, and he'll miss a layup, but gets his own rebound, puts it up and in. Staying after it is John Barry, who we noticed got real tired, and we'll go ahead and keep the live play going as Franklin ties his shoe. May not matter anyway. 3-pointer from Carlon Nelson. No good. But able to get it done quickly enough, so no really major effect there. Another drive from Lumpkins. Foul probably on the floor.
I think that's going to be a shooting foul for Rico Lumpkins. And I tell you what, actually it is going to be on the floor foul, as you call it. He has not stopped here today, Zach. He's had the majority of the workload for Riverview Gardens. And even in the final half of play, he's still taking it down the hoop. He's still looking for options and opportunities to score. And like we said, he's doing a better job of being able to draw contact and get foul calls.
Yeah, nice pass there into Brown, but missed the layup. Rebounded there by Walker. And here is Calvin Nelson to bring it up. Pass it out there in the corner for Johnson, and that is partially blocked, and Franklin is foul, trying to get the shot up.
Yeah, a little nerve-wracking there because Antoine Franklin Jr. didn't get up too quickly, but maybe just taking a little bit of a breather for him. The record, or I guess the quote-unquote record for points in the Collinsville Muscuda Tip-Off Classic so far is 30 points, which was scored by Nick Horace on Friday night against Miller Career Academy. But Franklin Jr. is trying to chase him here. He's got 22 points. If he makes this one, he can match his number with 23 points. He'll just need 8 more, or at least at this moment, 9 more in order to surpass Nick Horace, who scored 30 in that victory last night over the Phoenix.
Yep. Shot up and good as Marquise Moulton will come in. He will replace Michael Walker. And everybody went down the floor for Riverview. Phoenix still staying in their man-to-man pressure. Not super aggressive, but enough to slow the offense down a little bit. Here comes Lumpkins. He'll drive the lane and just kind of throw it up there. Nothing available to him. And the rebound comes down to Johnson. He'll drive the lane. Barry trying to fill the lane. And that should be a blocking foul.
Yep.
And it is. Count the basket for Johnson.
Yeah, once again, just like we saw a little bit earlier in the first half, Jerron Berry is the last man there trying to get back, trying to sprint back, but unfortunately he tries to draw the charge there way too late. Johnson just stepped around him, gets the bucket.
Johnson will go ahead and shoot the free throw up and no good. Barry gets the rebound there after picking up the foul. Rams moving quickly. Here is Castor for 3, no good. And the long rebound comes out to Moulton, who will give it to Johnson, who will bring it up for the Phoenix. And kind of a wild shot there, but gets it to fall, and the lead out to 28 points at 44-16 for Miller Career Academy.
Christian Johnson has been a little bit quiet today. Those are his first 4 points here in the third quarter, but he's finally coming to life and doing a good job of working hard and finding ways to score.
Yep. Rams trying to set up their offense. Castor shot up and good. He's done pretty well, DeMarion Castor. Just a sophomore. Not a real big guy. Listed only at 5'6", but he's been able to do some things. He's showcased that outside shot here today especially. And, you know, being a guy can't be all Rico Lumpkins, and he's shown that he can be a guy that can help out. Three-pointer from Johnson, no good. Deflected out to Calvin Nelson, and deflected again. Franklin able to corral the loose ball and put it up and in. He's got 25 now.
Yeah, it'll be a question to see. He'll have to, if he wants to break Nick Horace's quote-unquote record, but high-scoring total of the Tip-Off Classic, he probably needs to get those points quickly because I would imagine that Brandon Wright's going to sit him here in the fourth quarter.
You would figure so. Here is Lumpkins. He will drive the lane, kind of deflected for it. Barry will get the ball out to Henderson, and we'll have a foul on Christian Johnson, it appears.
Yep, looks like it suddenly, after Christian Johnson not being super involved in the first 2 quarters, he's really gotten involved here in the third quarter, trying to make things happen both on offense and on defense. He's you know, again, you talk about players that outside of Antoine Franklin Jr. that can make an impact. Christian Johnson absolutely is one of those players.
Here is Lumpkins. He's got a little bit of room and is fouled. Throws the shot up, no good, and I think that'll be on Johnson again.
Yep. Looking at these teams in the past, Riverview Gardens only one single win against Miller Career Academy. They're 1-5. Both of these teams played in the public district, or at least not in the public district, but in the same conference, if that makes any sense, a couple of years ago. And I believe they haven't played each other since 2015, so it's been an 8-year gap. Only win again for the Rams in that time span was in 2012. They won 57-47. That's when the Rams finished 15-11. And I'll give you another fun fact. I believe Will Donegan, right before Will Donegan was the head coach of the Rams was a man by the name of Gerard Moore, surprisingly. And after a couple of good seasons there with Riverview Gardens, including a district championship, I believe, in 2016, that's when he made the move to Granite City, where he now sits. And we'll see his Granite City Warriors team live tomorrow, or not tomorrow, but a little bit later this December when they play in the Prairie Farms Holiday Classic.
Pull-up jumper from Franklin, up and good. He's got 27 now. 27 of the 48 for the Phoenix, and here come the Rams. And Johnson hustling after it and able to pick up the steal. And Franklin said, get up. Here.
With the ball, yep, and then passed it right to him. Well,
Yeah.
how interesting.
Yep. Here is Johnson, puts a nice spin move there on Lumpkin's three-pointer airballed. That was not sure what that was a little interesting on the shot selection front, but
Yeah, but I think, when you look at that, I think the reason why we're so surprised about that shot selection, because I was interested in it too, is the fact that shows how good of shot selection the Miller Career Academy takes. And even the tougher shots, they're good selections because normally they make them. And then again, they can make easy shot selections like this where they can get easy layups. Lead now up to 30 for the Phoenix.
Yep. Johnson with 6 points now. And the Rams dutifully will bring the ball up the court. As seen, it's not just been Rico Lumpkins on the point guard front, as that was Demarion Castor. Here is Malachi Henderson, shot up and no good. Franklin will corral the rebound and get it up to Johnson, who is fouled. I think they're going to give that to, I think that's Henderson down there. And it is. Substitution in for the Phoenix is Carlwan Nelson.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting to see where this Miller Career Academy team stands. You win these easy games, right? But you want to see Miller Career Academy take advantage of those games that are winnable. A different story, a couple of different shots. Miller Career Academy could be 3-0 in this tournament. They just couldn't close out the games like Collinsville and Mascoutah could, and that's why Collinsville and Mascoutah will be going at it to see who's going to finish undefeated here at this Tip-Off Classic tonight at 7 o'clock. Don't miss that. That'll be on the K-Hawk Broadcast Club Network. The K-Hawks against the Indians for the first time in quite a while. Those two teams have played, well, since last year, but after that, it was like 2014 the first time they played.
Before last year, with Collinsville getting back into the Mascoutah tournament, which this is kind of an offshoot of. It had been a few years. There was a home and away about a decade ago, and then before that, you have to go back to I think a super sectional sometime back in the 70s.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
I think it speaks to how good both of those programs are. Honestly,
yeah.
You talk about history, and you talk about storied programs, and both programs have done a really good job of turning over and getting great players year after year after year, and that just builds more and more wins. And obviously Collinsville has so many wins. Now 22-02 after the win for the K-Hawks against the Riverview Garden Rams earlier today. They'll be going for 2,203 tonight.
Yep. Three-pointer there from Nelson makes it 53-20, and here is. That is McFadden with the basketball for the Rams, guarded by Carlwan Nelson. 47 seconds, and they're going to get Nelson with a foul.
If I talk to you about most surprising player of this tournament, this Tip-Off Classic, I'd say Carlwan Nelson is the man. I kind of said this last night or maybe earlier today. Carlwan Nelson doesn't look exactly like a player who you would think would be drilling threes and scoring in the double digits, because, I don't know, I wore sports goggles. Sports goggles don't exactly tell, a great shooter or, an amazing offensive basketball player, more of a defender and a rebounder, which Carlwan Nelson does a good job with. But it's just interesting to see all of that play out for Nelson, as he's still going to get a fast break here. Oh, look at the passing.
And we're going to have a foul.
Did not
there
take it
by
himself
Barry.
there.
Yeah, Barry fouled out of the game against Collinsville as.
I know I'm kidding a little bit about Carlwan Nelson, but outside of this Tip-Off Classic, as these are our final two games of the day of the Classic, who has been your most surprising player? Who did you just kind of get blown off the walls and just, wow, I can't believe it. You could choose from any team, by the way.
It's kind of been hard to tell. I mean, guys, obviously, I don't know that anything has really shocked me for Collinsville because it's, obviously the team that we're most familiar with. Mascoutah, you kind of figure it's kind of been the usual suspects. Maybe, at least in that first game, the pairing of the Williams duo for Mascoutah, Justin and Jordan. Yeah. They've had some solid showings for guys that didn't really get much in the way of varsity playing time, as Carlwan Nelson picks up his fourth foul, and so that'll put the Rams into the bonus, and Jerron Berry will come down and shoot some free throws. Looks like he's maybe grabbing onto that right hand, maybe got a finger bent or something.
Yeah, I mean, I think maybe it took a hard hit. Sometimes you have that issue where the ball you'll be going for a rebound, and you'll hit the ball on the top of your finger, and then that'll push your finger back. I remember when that happened. That's just a little bit of a finger jam that just hurts and takes time for it to heal. Sometimes it's not that bad. Sometimes it's really bad. I had to wrap my fingers one time as a result of it, as Barry splits the pair of free throws.
Yep. Here is the press break from the Phoenix. Come down to Franklin, who will get it back out to Carlon Nelson, playing with 4 fouls. And he'll go ahead and try and work it into Franklin. He'll get the pass right back. Three-pointer up and off, no good. Rebounded by the Rams. 50-foot heave from Lumpkins, well short. And for the 3rd consecutive game, the Rams will unfortunately be on the losing end of the running clock. 54-21, 33-point deficit. Be back here in just a moment on the K-Hawk Broadcast Club Network.
Diamonds for K-Hawks is a facility improvement project to develop a baseball, softball, and football/soccer field for CHS students and our communities to utilize. The project includes 2 baseball fields, 2 softball fields, a soccer/football field, concession stand, bathrooms, and parking. The development of this facility will benefit the band, PE classes, baseball team, softball team, and soccer team with a centralized location, ease of access, and an eye-catching complex. Please contact A.D. Clay Smith to donate to this project or visit the Collinsville Area Community Foundation website to make your tax-deductible donation today.
Getting ready for our 4th and final quarter of action here in game number 5 of 6 of the Collinsville-Mascoutah Tip-Off Classic. Riverview Gardens trailing by 33 points, and they will have the basketball to begin proceedings here. We will have the running clock. Pass in and stolen by Calvin Nelson, and his shot is up and no good, but able to pick up his own rebound. Pass to Brian Mann, no good, and the rebound will come down to Riverview Gardens. Here is Rico Lumpkins bringing the ball up for the Rams. He'll work it out there on the wing to Henderson. He will dribble the ball and get it to Brown at the top of the key. And now we'll attempt to get it to Anthony, but we'll have a foul called. That will be on Rashad Butler.
Looking at both these teams at least, as actually I'll get to that. Actually, yeah, I'll take this opportunity as they're going to have a timeout. Riverview Gardens, Will Donegan just trying to give a couple of notes to his team that is tired, is dragged after 3 good teams in Collinsville, Mascoutah, and Miller Career Academy have each had their kind of blow at them, or at least their opportunity to put the beat down on them, and still through that they've done a really good job. The Rams of at least keeping their composure and playing hard the entire time.
Yep.
As for the Rams, it'll be interesting. They will play Francis Howell Central in the Fountain City Classic early December. That's their next game, so they won't be playing for about a week.
Yep.
And
Go
then
down to, I believe that's down in DeSoto, Missouri. And then they'll, I believe they're in the Suburban Green. Kind of, there's like a St. Louis Suburban as we have a 5-second violation. So I believe they're in there with, it's like a tier system. So I think they might be in the same division as Oakville, who we'll see in the Prairie Farms Holiday Classic. There might be a couple other teams, maybe Parkway South. I'm not positive on that, and I don't want to get that wrong. Miller Career, of course, play in the Public High League. Is the shot up and good from Brian Mann. He's up to 8 points.
I will say, and then obviously they all will go to Edwardsville in late December, so that's a road game for the Rams as well. And talk about the entire program for Riverview Gardens. It's just been a little bit difficult for them as Barry goes in. He missed that layup. They missed a lot of layups, the Rams.
Yep.
You talk about a team in 2020 during coronavirus, during COVID-19, Riverview Gardens were the only team in the area not to have a basketball season. I think it really set them back as a result. And since they've just been trying to play catch-up in terms of getting good players and making sure their program's in a better spot. And so, each year it's just got to be used as a building year and another building year. And,
Yep.
it may take 5 years. It may take 10 years, but again, they're seeing the effects,
Yeah.
I would say, of the COVID-19 season and not playing during that year and maybe losing a little bit of roster turnover as a result.
Yep. I think as foul there is Jackson Harris. Obviously last year, Riverview Gardens, their main guy, Justin Barsh, is gone. But you mentioned this earlier, only one senior on the roster, and that is Stefan Brown. And we've mentioned again that, they're missing some of those guys. Obviously, they don't have just 7 guys on the roster, 2 probably starting guards not playing here in the tournament, as Harris's free throw is up and good. And they've had some positive things. There's things that you can build upon. You've got, you have some time. You're probably going to have a little bit of an easier field as you get into conference with them playing in one of the lower divisions in that St. Louis Suburban. And I think the opportunity is there for them to win a few ball games as the three-pointer up and no good from Castor. Rebound comes down to Calvin Nelson, and he'll get it to Mann, who will pull up for 3. That falls, and that will get the lead out to 40 points.
Liking the fact that Brian Mann makes the 3, and he's lit up a little bit here in the second half. And we talked about the offensive production outside of Antoine Franklin. It probably starts with him. He's got the most varsity experience outside of Antoine Franklin as the foul is called there. Boy, I'm really excited. Miller Career Academy have some really good games this season that they get to play. Obviously, they're in the same district as Vashon, so they've got a lot of work to go up against Vashon, obviously. And in St. Louis, you said they're in the same conference as well, right?
Yep. St. Louis Public High League is their name for it. Some other, got McKinley High School, Soldan, who usually put together a solid team on the floor. Carnahan have had some okay showings, as Butler will go ahead and drive the lane, lose the ball, but Harris able to pick up the loose change, shot up and good.
Yeah, and good aggression there by Jackson Harris. Instead of trying to pass it out, he saw that he's got the size advantage, and he went up strong, especially against the Miller Career the Rams, who probably just don't have much physicality left at all to work with. Good on him on saying, I'm going to call my own shot and go up for the rim. And they're going to need everybody, Miller Career Academy, in order to compete with those teams like CBC and like Confluence and Live for Life and Vashon. And they'll go to Mid-Missouri a couple of times. They got to play Father Tolton, who's got 5-star guard Aaron Rowe. And I'll see them in Jefferson City, which is exciting. I'm really excited to see them play in Jefferson City against the Capital City Cavaliers. I'll actually be broadcasting that game. So if you're a Miller Career fan, make sure to tune in to that game against Capital City, which is in February.
Yep.
Good schedule for Miller Career Academy, and we'll see what this team's made of as the season goes on.
Yeah, they've done a good job, and obviously getting out to your quote-unquote neck of the woods, of course, with you being a student at Mizzou, as and they're able to get around it. Ooh, there's a behind-the-back pass.
Hey, take it
anything
anyways.
you can get. Yeah.
Right.
Lumpkins up to 11 points. So a solid showing for him, and it looks like that with some of those guys out, he's going to be the main guy. I'm not sure when they'll be getting some of those other guys back, as a three-pointer from Calvin Nelson, no good. Nice rebound there by Marquise Moulton, but short on the layup, and the ball saved and not saved, so it will remain Phoenix basketball as we're under 3 minutes to play with the running clock here in the fourth quarter.
I will say, you were talking a little bit about it. That's where I think they start getting Tyree Collins-McIntyre and Calvin Nash back on the floor. They both, I know one of the two was watching these games today. I'm pretty sure both of them were here watching these games unfold, and I'm sure they are just eager to get back out on the court and help this team. They are 2 of the top 3 scoring options alongside Rico Lumpkins, and I think these games would have been closer had they been playing in them. So that's the start, I think, for Riverview Gardens to get competitive and get a chance in these games.
Yeah, I mean, if you can, obviously even just to have a few more guys back, just to have a couple more people that you can utilize. I mean, obviously there are teams that go 7 deep, but usually Riverview Gardens, most of these St. Louis teams typically use a few more guys than that, and to be able to have those guys. And obviously we mentioned in the Collinsville game that it's good conditioning. Three-pointer from Butler up, no good. He'll hustle, but unable to track down the long rebound.
And as we kind of close this game, as the running clock runs, thoughts on our championship game, or at least our final game of the evening for Collinsville versus Mascoutah. Winner will win the Collinsville-Mascoutah Tip-Off Classic. Early initial thoughts about that. I know we're going to have that broadcast on here in the next 15 minutes or so. But what are your early thoughts on it?
Yeah, it should be a fun matchup. You know, kind of what you had pinned down. 3-pointer from Lumpkins, no good. Moulton with the rebound, as we're at 70 seconds now, as Calvin Nelson gets another bucket. That's his second of the game. He's got 4 points. And see what Riverview want to do here with what could possibly be their last possession of this Collinsville-Mascoutah Tip-Off Classic. Here is Henderson. He'll get it to Anthony, who will put a shot up and get it to fall. Jaden Anthony with,
I think maybe
possibly
his first
bucket
basket
of the
game. Yeah, I would not be surprised if that's the case. A good little jumper there. Maybe work on that a little bit, and they'll be helpful. Guess they got a
held ball
here. Referee has not made a signal.
Yeah, possession 2, Miller Career, and that'll just burn some more time off as they'll get the round of applause here, inbound the ball, and you'd think that Miller Career would just go ahead and be able to dribble this out. Castor's going to guard Nelson a little bit, make him work somewhat, but go ahead and get a nice hand from the crowd here at Virgil Fletcher Gym. And so your final score, final margin of victory will be 40 points, 65-25 in favor of Miller Career Academy. And your quick wrap-up thoughts on this one, Matt?
Well, glad that both of these teams were able to make the tournament. I think they can both go back with a couple of positives. Obviously, it's tough to find positives for Riverview Gardens after losing every game by more than 40 points. But I think they improved from day 2, from where they were at day 1. And again, we saw flashes of how good this team can be. They've just got to be able to put it together, get those players back, and they'll be on the road to a little bit more success than what they found here. For them, and it's just a building, it's a learning process each and every time, and I think Riverview Gardens, again, can be proud of their effort, which has always never been in question for Will Donegan's team. And
we're going to go ahead and present our first all-tournament team honoree, which will be Antoine Franklin, which deserving performance.
Absolutely deserving. And Miller Career was the only team that did not play in the tournament earlier in the Tip-Off Classic last year that was held at Mascoutah. And so I was really interested to see how they would play coming in here. And head coach Brandon Wright's got a good basketball team, and I think if they do a couple of things differently, they could have been walking out of here 3-0, or at least maybe split the games between Collinsville and Mascoutah. But a great effort from Miller Career. Can't wait to cover them later in the year. Yep. Antoine Franklin Jr. is really good, Zach Roseman.
Yep, it's been a fun guy to watch. So we're going to go ahead and tear things down here. We'll be back on not too long here, in about 15-ish minutes. Go ahead and have Matt run play-by-play for that one as final matchup of this tournament, as Collinsville and Mascoutah lock horns. Until then, this has been Zach Roseman. Everybody have a fantastic evening, and we'll see you soon.